wishes of an eventful Monday to all. Yours truly, Denise Osorio here for PTV News Now. Starting off our set of stories at the hour, the debut of an even lower price of rice with NFA grain going on sale earlier today. Food inflation born out of persistent rice prices in particular was mostly to blame for overall inflation hitting 0.8% more last month. As such, the Department of Agriculture has stepped up efforts to rein in the cost of the country's staple grain, like today's debut of the sale of NFA rice at 33 pesos a kilo. And the public was ecstatic upon getting wind of the news as they headed out to distribution outlets in participating LGUs, such as in San Juan City, where 8,050-kilogram sacks procured Wednesday last week, February 19, under the declaration of a food security emergency on rice went on sale today. Secretary Francisco Tiu Del Real Jr. joined San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora today in the pilot distribution of rice at 33 pesos a kilo but sold on sacks of 50 kilos only for now. Participating local government units nationwide are set to receive a monthly allocation of 625,000 sacks, or equal to 150,000 metric tons over the next 6 months. The Trump 2.0 administration is on an accelerated mission to chainsaw the bureaucracy and reduce spending on federal programs. Tens of thousands of federal government workers have received their pink slips, even as international assistance commitments are now on ice. But not the Philippine government, which has been spared the Trump-Musk wrecking ball on global foreign aid. This latest update on the status of U.S.-Philippine Mutual Defense Treaty, DFA spokesperson Teresita Daza confirmed in a text message to the Philippine News Agency, but stressed only a portion of the $500 million ex-Pentagon Chief Lloyd Austin and former Secretary of State Antony Blinken promised or committed last year for the AFP modernization program and upgrade of the Philippine Coast Guard fleet. A 33% slash, or a total amount of $336 million reportedly has been assured by the State Department as of press time. Never has Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky and the Ukrainian people been more uncertain of their future as a democratic country than over the last month and counting. A seismic shift in support from Kyiv to Moscow and unfounded attacks by President Trump on Zelensky are putting so much pressure on the Ukrainian government, which may have to go at it alone with only NATO support going forward. VOA's Miroslava Gongadze and Anna Chernikova filed this joint report.
The Razum Medical Center in Kyiv was opened in February 2024 by war veteran Petro Krasitsky and his family doctor. After serving in the army in 2015 and again following Russia's invasion, Krasitsky envisioned the clinic during his recovery from 2 strokes and multiple concussions. With Ukraine's veteran population expected to reach 4 to 5 million, he says he sees the center as an investment in the country's future.
If we didn't believe in the future of our country, we wouldn't have started any of this. There will be no medical center. We would have simply gone abroad, and that would have been the end of it.
Many in Ukraine share Krasitsky's optimism, but recent shift in U.S. policy and rhetoric have many worried about the country's future as it enters a 4th year of war with Russia. Ukrainians fear that wavering U.S. commitment could undermine efforts to hold back the Russian invaders and weaken Ukraine's position at any future negotiations. Maria Mezintseva, a lawmaker from President Volodymyr Zelensky's ruling party, told VOA that the pressure is high and that some messages about Ukraine are disappointing.
We still expect just peace, fair negotiations, and nothing to be decided about Ukraine without Ukraine. We are expecting tough times, but I already see this unity, which we started probably to lose a little bit, coming back. And maybe these shakeups are needed for the purpose.
Gallup's latest survey shows 52% of Ukrainians support peace talks. Alexei Melnik from the Razumkov Center, a Ukrainian public policy think tank, notes that he sees growing sense of realism in Ukrainian society about the prospect for peace.
There is a general understanding that the ceasefire, possible ceasefire, is not the end of the war. The prevailing opinion is that if Americans and Russians achieve some kind of agreement about a ceasefire, it will be just another kind of interwar period.
Civilian casualties in Ukraine increased by 16% in the third year of the war, with over 1,600 deaths, as airstrikes targeting civilians tripled, according to US-based conflict tracker ACLED. On the streets of Kyiv, many hope peace talks will bring an end to the hostilities, but are not happy with the idea of making concessions to Russia and President Vladimir Putin.
До процесу початку перемовин ставлюсь позитивно, але дуже важко.
I am positive about the process of starting negotiations, but it is very difficult to talk about it on the terms we're hearing. The most important thing Ukraine needs right now is confidence that there is support, both within the country and from foreign allies.
Є підтримка, як і всередині країни, так і зовнішніх союзників.
Negotiations should be on our terms. Given the compromises being suggested, I believe it would be a loss, and that is not what we've been fighting for over the past 3 years.
After 3 years of resisting Russian aggression, Ukraine is enduring one of its most challenging periods as its forces slowly lose ground in the east. Few, if any, Ukrainians want to see the country give up land and hope the US can be convinced to stay on their side, giving them a chance to keep their country whole. With Anna Chernikova in Kyiv, Miroslava Gongadze, PTV News, Warsaw.
So that's a wrap for this afternoon. Join us anew later on for our breaking stories in the evening. And always keep in mind to stay connected by catching the news right here. This is Denise Osorio, and thank you for watching PTV News Now.